Welcome back to Mornings with Jaresha. It's another great day. It's another great Tuesday. How are y'all doing? How is your week going so far? We're only a couple of days into the weekday, but how is it going? Are you getting stuff done? That is the key right there. That is the question. Are you getting stuff done? Yesterday was quite interesting, but nonetheless, still productive, still being able to really get stuff done. And so I was thinking, actually, I was having this thought over the weekend, and I was like, oh, this is very powerful. And so, when you think about, or, just I always find myself in those moments where I have just those deep thoughts. And it was one of those moments because as we think about just the things that we do every single day, so our day to day, there's a lot of things that we subconsciously just do without even thinking about it because of habit or just the learned behavior and just doing it every single day, day in, day out. And there's not much thought that goes into it. So, getting out of the bed, brushing our teeth, showering, and then we leave the house, get into our car, put the key in the ignition, or just start up the car. If you have one of the cars like mine, you just get in it and just start it up without having to put the key in the ignition, just push a button. But those are things that we do. We know what to do, we know how to do, and we do it, really subconsciously. So there's not a lot of thought that goes into it. And we're really like on autopilot every single day. So we're getting in the car, we're driving to wherever our destination is, be it, you're going to work, going to the gym, whatever you may be doing in the morning throughout your day, but you're really not giving a lot of thought to it, right? And our minds and our bodies are just, snapping into action. We know what to do. And it's not a lot of thought that goes into it, right? So most of the time when we're driving, we're thinking about other things and we have other things in our mind, but our bodies is what I really meant to say. So our bodies are just, doing things that we need to do. And again, we're on autopilot. We're on autopilot. And most of us could probably say that we can do the things that we just do without even thinking about it. We could do those with our eyes closed. We could do it in our sleep, right? I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I'm just saying, you get what I'm saying. We can do it without much thought. And then every now and then, while we're on autopilot, right? Like a warning light comes on. So if you've ever been driving and then that warning light comes on, and all of a sudden it's like, that light flashes and it's immediately you're thinking, okay, what is, especially if you don't know what that light is. So if it's, a regular light like your oil change or something like that may come on, then that's a little different. But if that light flashes, it lets us know that okay, something is going on. Something's going on. Maybe it's the gas light, but it's designed to alert us in some way, right? And so that light flashes and we may need gas, we may need an oil change, we may need air in our tires, but the light is indicated so that in order for it lets us know, it gives us that alert so that we know in order for our car to keep working, we need to take some kind of action. So some kind of action is needed because our vehicles require work, they require maintenance. And so every so many miles, in order for our vehicles to really perform at its best and keep working, there are these alerts that go off. And for many of us, we get those lights and we snap into action. So you see that light, you're like, oh my goodness. I know there's been times, because I am not a mechanic. So there's been times where that light flashes and I need to refer to the manual to see what is going on, or I'll call a dealership up, and then what do? We take our car to be serviced, right? So those lights flash for a reason, and so we snap into action because our vehicles are maybe our only means of transportation that get us from point A to point B. And so we have no choice but to make whatever investment it is. If it's an oil change, guess what? We're going to go get the oil change. If it's our tires need to be replaced, we're going to go get that done. The brakes need to be done. We're going to go get that done, right? Because if we don't, the vehicle is going to be, it can be unsafe and put our life in danger and then really threaten our livelihood. We use these vehicles for making money. So we use it for getting back and forth to jobs and so on and so forth. Now, I really want to approach this whole thing because I'm going somewhere with this. And so I'm not just going to talk about cars and the maintenance that we have to do, but I really want you to think about your goals, your dreams, and your purpose and how we can really put all of them together, and we're just going to call it your greatness, okay? Now your greatness and what is inside of you is like the vehicles that we have. We are always on the go, and most of the time we're on autopilot, right? We don't know where we're going, but yet we're moving. That's another topic another day. But we don't know where we're going, yet we're moving. And we have these indicators and these warnings that go off. And I feel like, if I can just say for a moment, I feel like when we have these indicators, these alerts, I feel like they're from God. And sometimes we ignore them, right? We ignore them. So, and when we think back to our cars and we have these alerts that go off, and some of us even with the gas, and I can say that, I'm very guilty of this. When that first light goes off and flashes, I know how many miles I can push it before I stop and get gas. Now, that's not something good to do, but that's just what I do. But it's ignoring. So I ignore that first alert. And maybe you ignore that alert, or those signs, those warning signs that kind of are thrown up, and we ignore them. But they are designed for us to be able to develop, improve, and grow. And that is from looking at from the greatness side of things. So as you grow and you're going to work on your goals, your dreams, and your purpose the same way a vehicle requires maintenance. You require work. You require an upgrade, an improvement, an enhancement. And again, I am not a mechanic, but you can think about it as the fact that you're going through life and we are ignoring the signs. We are ignoring the warnings. We are ignoring the indicators, the lights that is designed for us to work on us. These lights may come as obstacles, pain, disappointment, challenges, opportunities. Not all warning lights are an indication that there is a problem. Not all warning lights is an indication that there is a problem. Some are designed to let you know that if you want to keep moving and keep performing at a high level, it is recommended and suggested. No, I shouldn't even say suggested. It is recommended that you get this done. And you know what I'm talking about. Think about the last time you took your vehicle to go get an oil change. And we know that if you have a vehicle, it is a requirement, right? You must go and get an oil change. It's a routine maintenance service that is needed for your vehicle to keep running and performing like it's supposed to. So, and when you go to have this routine checkup, they go through and do all these checks, right? They do these checkpoints to check in with this and make sure this is good and make sure, this is good. And again, I'm not a mechanic, but they want to make sure everything is good. They're checking your fluids, they're checking your brakes, they're checking your lights. They are checking everything. And almost always, they come back with some kind of recommendation based on a manufacturer, based on whatever is recommended at so many miles, whatever point your vehicle has reached. There is some kind of recommendation for you to get some kind of service that's going to help the life of your vehicle. And what do? Many of us decline without hesitation. We don't even let the service person tell us the price, or some of us may say, okay, well, how much is it? And guess what? Our next response is no, not this time, or we're not going to do that. But, and so we don't even let them, I know that I'm guilty of this, we don't even let them tell us or go into much detail of it. But once they share, after you've come there for that routine checkup, that routine maintenance, oil maintenance checkup, and they do these checkpoints, They offer you the recommendations, and you are just so quick to decline. Decline, right? We decline and we make that decision that our vehicles, we make that decision for our vehicles that we know need to keep performing at a high level, right? We make that decision to say no to the investment, say no to the enhancement, to the upgrade. Now, many of us are not car experts. We drive it, like I said, I'm not a mechanic. We put gas in it and that's it. Yet we're so quick to say no to any and all recommendations that may help our cars last longer and drive better. Now, for those of you out there that are always quick to say yes when they make several recommendations, kudos to you. But I know I am not in that group. I have said many times, no, no, and no. And it only is if I feel like it is something that, okay, yeah, this sounds like I need to have this done. But yet, we are so quick to say no when those recommendations are really designed to help our car last longer and drive better. And we say no because we know that oil change, oh, that's good. But what if whatever that investment is will help your car perform at its best and drive smoother, drive better, and last longer? So we see that there's no issue, there's no problem. Oh, we're just here for an oil change. That's it. Oh, we're good, right? We don't need anything else. We don't need to make that investment. We know during an oil change, the old oil is taken from the vehicle. So the vehicle's engine is replaced with new fresh oil. And then an oil filter is also changed as well. And so I feel like today we all need oil changes in our life. And so I'm bringing it back to how you can apply this to your own life. We need to have oil changes in our life. We need to remove the old mess, the built up doubt, the negativity, the limiting beliefs, the mess that we keep trying to use and think that we're going to perform at a highest level or our highest self, and not realizing that we need a change. We need an oil change for our own life. We need service. We need to service our own life. And we need to do this today. We need to do this. We need to stop thinking that we're going to perform or really reach our highest potential when we have all this old built up mess and junk and just all kinds of old built up mess. We cannot perform at our higher self if we have all of this old junk that we're still trying to use in our life. So what maintenance are you doing in your life? Or are you ignoring the signs? Are you ignoring the warnings and the lights that's going off, thinking that I can keep moving forward? Oh, I can keep moving. I'm going to ignore it. I'm here to tell you that we have to incorporate the routine check-ins and maintenance in our life so we can perform at our highest self. In those recommendations or investments, we need to be willing to invest in self and stop being so quick to say no to recommendations that may be given to you from a coach, from someone that is already there where you're trying to get to. Stop being so quick to say no to those investments, not recognizing that it's only designed to help you grow. When is the last time you invested in you? When is the last time that you said yes to investing in yourself? We have to be willing to upgrade and enhance ourselves so that we can reach our potential and unleash our greatness that translates to your goals, your dreams, and your purpose. Now, this whole thing really made me ask the question, and that is, how is your drive? Are you running on empty? I talked about having to, really letting my car get to a point where it's almost on empty before I go to the gas station. Don't judge me. I know that's something that I'm working on because I don't like necessarily going to the gas station. But the whole point is, are you running on empty? We know that when your car is, for one, I know that you should not drive your car nowhere near close to empty. However, it doesn't even move the way it should. And guess what? If you're on empty, you're not going anywhere. You're at a standstill. How is your drive? Are you on empty? Are you almost on empty? If you had to rate your level of fuel, and we're still talking about cars as it relates to our own greatness, if you had to relate your level of fuel and where you are right now, would you say that you're running at a full tank? Are you full? Are you half? Or are you running on empty? Do you need to do some maintenance in your life right now? And honestly, the answer should always be yes. We all need to do those routine check-ins with our lives in the different areas. We need to get out of autopilot mode and take time to assess. Check your warning lights, because almost always there's alerts going off left and right that we have continued to ignore. Maybe you're ignoring those lights that are flashing in the area of relationships. Maybe you're ignoring the lights that are flashing with your finances. Maybe you are ignoring the lights that are flashing with your health and wellness. Maybe you are ignoring the lights that are flashing spiritually. Maybe you are ignoring the lights that is flashing that's telling you that you need to develop self. You need to work on growth. You need to work on your own personal and professional development and growth. How is your drive? We need to take time to assess, to check your warning lights and those indicators that are going off before you even get on the road. How can you travel on the journey if you have lights flashing at you and you haven't taken the time to even figure out why it's flashing? What can I do? How can I use this to help me? How can I grow from this? What can I do in order to push forward, to level up? What do I need to be doing? What does this light mean for me in my life? And how can I keep moving and keep growing? How is your drive? Is it good? How can it be great? If you say, yes, my drive is good, how can it be great? How can you perform at your best and highest self? What is stopping you from performing at your highest level? Is it something externally? Because we do have those external things, those external factors, and those external things and distractions that get in our way. But we also have internally, and that internal is you. Are you stopping you? Are you stopping your drive? Wow. Y'all, I just, this was not really where I was planning on going today, but I really feel like I needed to go here. So are you driven to succeed? Check your drive. Check your drive. So I believe we have to have checkpoints to really drive to success so that we can be successful, we can grow and succeed in our goals, our dreams, and walk into our purpose and really unleash our greatness. And so I like to look at these moments, or when we have the time where we're going to check in, as checkpoints in our lives. And so I'm going to share with you some checkpoints that I use, and they're not in no particular order, but some checkpoints that I feel like are very important as we're on this journey, because we want to be driven We want to continue to be driven, and we want to check our drive. And in order to check our drive, because we know that we want to be successful in some way, shape, or form. And the way that I see it, I want to be successful in my relationships. I want to be successful in my finances. I want to be successful in my health and wellness. I want to be successful in my personal, professional development. I want to be successful in all areas of my life. And so I have these checkpoints. And so I'm going to share with you these checkpoints today. So if you have something, please take some notes or write, jot down some things so that you can go back and really have these checkpoints and start doing these checkpoints for yourself. One of the checkpoints is the assessment. We have to be willing to assess where we are and ask ourselves questions. Where am I? Where do I want to go? How did I get here? How do I get there? Why am I here? Why do I want to go there? What did I learn? What do I need to know to get there? And then when am I going? And when am I going to start? The assessment is really designed to help us learn more about who you are and what it's going to take in order for you to get to the next level. So we have to have that checkpoint of assessing. Then there comes the checkpoint of one of the checkpoints of the commitment. So making a commitment to grow daily. And we know that success comes from growing, not from achieving, acquiring, or advancing. We have to be looking at the commitment we're going to make to ourselves. What are our goals? What is our dream? What is that commitment that we're willing to make and say, this is what I'm going to do? Have you made that commitment? Where are you at with your commitment? And then another checkpoint is, I like to refer to it as the process. And so we know that with the process, and again, these are not in no particular order. I'm just giving them to you as I use them and know them and just love them. And so, again, checkpoint of the process. And we know that we have to value the process. And with anything that you're working on, there's always going to be a process. And so knowing how you respond to the process and how you can move through and keep pushing through the process. And so to me, that is where your motivation comes in. And it's tied to so many different things within your life, and understanding that the process is we can't rush the process. So we have to trust the process and not rush the process. So another checkpoint is the discipline. The discipline, and so that's where we can't wait for inspiration. We have to know that we have to be disciplined. And some of these really go hand in hand. But nonetheless, the discipline and knowing that you have to be disciplined. If it's something that you are striving for, you have to discipline yourself. And this is something that you have to continue working on in your life, with your goals, checking in. How can I be more disciplined in this area? What are my struggles that I'm going through? Why am I not disciplined? How can I develop my area of discipline? Another checkpoint is the sacrifice. Now, we know with everything that we do, there is a huge sacrifice. Are you willing to sacrifice pleasure for opportunity? So when you think about your goals, your dreams, and walking into your purpose, are you willing to make the sacrifice that's needed? And really, again, that sacrifice can go hand in hand with discipline, because in order for both of them to kind of work together, sometimes you have to be willing to get rid of some things and say, you know what, this is a sacrifice that I'm going to make. And because I'm going to make that sacrifice and ensure that I'm going to be disciplined, I know that I need to show up in this area. I know that I need to do this. And so in order for me to do this, that's an area that I'm going to have to sacrifice in order to keep pushing forward with my goals, dreams, and my purpose. And so another checkpoint that I like to, visit or revisit is the plan. And again, they're in not any particular order, but these are just checkpoints that we have in our lives and checkpoints that we should be, checking in to see where we're at. Where are you at with your plan? We need to be planning our priorities, and this is a daily thing. Where are you at with your plan? I definitely feel like some of these checkpoints we probably need to do on a day to day basis until we can get to a point where they're just habit and we know we're good in this area. With my planning, I know I'm good. So this is not, when I come to that checkpoint, guess what? I can check it off and say, I know my plan is good. I'm working my plan. There's no issues there. Another checkpoint is the potential. Now, this is good because this is where we have to recognize that you have so much potential. You have greatness within you that you haven't even tapped into yet. And so this is this is a checkpoint of making sure you're continuing to grow. How are you growing? What questions are you asking yourselves? How are you learning? We are all about daily learning and those things that you're going to be doing every single day and how you can learn every single day and making sure you're learning. So the potential checkpoint is there so you can check where you're at. Are you being your highest and best self today? How are you showing up for you? Another checkpoint is the checkpoint of elimination. So this checkpoint, y'all, this checkpoint is all about we have to be willing to give stuff up. We have to be willing to eliminate things in order for us to go to the next level. What do you need to eliminate? What have you eliminated in your life? What do we need to get rid of? Because we have those, we definitely each and every one of us have those things in our lives that we need to be eliminating. And so maybe this checkpoint is one that you have found yourself like, ooh, I need to stay in this checkpoint for a moment because there are some things that I need to write down that I need to eliminate. And I need to figure out how I need to eliminate this out of my life. How do I need to get rid of it? For some of us is the people that we're connected to that we shouldn't be connected to, that's bringing negativity in our lives. It may be a habit that you're doing that you need to eliminate. So whatever that is, it's the checkpoint. Again, these checkpoints are designed so that you will take time to check in with yourself and how and where you're at as far as you being on your journey of accomplishing your goals and, living out your dreams and walking into your purpose. And one of the last checkpoints I'm going to mention today is the checkpoint of reflecting. Reflection. We know how important reflection is. And so with each of these, it's a matter of reflecting. But this one here, it is really all about reflecting on your whole self. How are checking in with you? How are you today? How can you be better? And if you notice with each of these checkpoints, I have questions. Questions are so very important as we carry on our day, as we just discover more about self and how we can develop ourselves. So whatever your checkpoints look like in your life, make it make sense. Now, maybe some of the checkpoints I've mentioned today are ones that you want to incorporate into your life. Or maybe there's some you're like, oh, I think I need to add this checkpoint. Add it into your life, but make sure you write it down and revisit it. Make it a routine maintenance. Make it routine service that you do in your life. Now, I will tell you that my plan today was really to share more about a warrior mindset. And this was a continuation from the lessons from the woman king. So I'm going to share with that. I'm going to share you with that. I'm going to share that with you all tomorrow because I really feel like we all have that warrior inside us. And I feel like it's time for us to unleash that. So make sure you come back tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going to talk about the warrior mindset. But for today, let's work on this checkpoint. Let's work on these checkpoints that we need to make in our life today so we can perform at our highest and best version of ourselves. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. I hope you took some notes. I hope that you are going to work on your own checkpoints today and add it to your calendar so you can be checking in with you to make sure you are performing at your highest and the highest version of you. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready to execute. I hope you're ready to execute on your goals, your dreams, and your purpose. It's time. It's time. So it's time to get ready. Let's go and let's get it and let's go. Get ready because it's time to execute, y'all. It's time to execute, y'all. I hope you're ready. Let's get it. Let's go.